Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight marks the beginning of Week 3 in Team Gap Silver League. Tonight we have a best of 3 between Rawr's Rogue Upset, Silver Pink, and Checkmate, Silver Gray. I am JR, and joining me is none other than Wookie Monster himself.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So yeah, we'll be hopping into draft shortly, but just a slight, I guess, history on the two teams. Apparently I was informed that Checkmate Silver Gray is new to the league, so this is kind of their debut to the league. I haven't seen anyone from this roster, so that'll be exciting.
Yeah, we haven't seen Checkmate yet, so I'm excited to see how they stand up to the second seed of the Silver League so far, which is Rawr's Rogue Upsets. We've seen them. I think they 2-0'd a week ago, and it was a strong performance from them. So I'm excited to see if they can do it again, or if Checkmate Gray can actually pull up something out of their sleeves for this first game of their series.
I mean, yeah, I had the pleasure of casting Roar's Rogue Upsets game where or series where they 2-0'd, and yes, strong performance, especially out of their bot lane. I think at one point I saw like a 11-0 Varus, so that's a
Ah,
thing.
yeah,
And
that is a thing.
yeah, their team looked like they were playing as a team. Surprisingly, they had really good vision control. I mean, they just kind of rolled through their two games, and I went to bed early, so
Hmm.
that's how that went. But I mean, it will be interesting because I do know one of the players from Silver Gray. I helped with their tryout, so I do know their mid laner Legend of Soa. So it'll be interesting to see how much he's changed since then, since it's been a while since tryouts.
Okay, that's fair. I believe let's go through the roster real quick of both of these teams. So I'll go through Grays real quick because they're on blue side this game. So it's going to be in the top side is CM Dean. On Moracle, I think is how you pronounce that name, is going to be their jungler. Legend of Soa is going to be in mid lane. Just Yoltz, who is their team captain, is going to be their ADC. And Now You See Me is going to be in at the support role there. And for Rawr's Rogue Upsets, we have Jason K. Boy 23 going to be their top side. I think that I can is going to be their jungler. Momo, their mid laner. Zuko, their ADC, and Catch My Hooks, their captain, is going to be support. So draft has not been started. Waiting on a response, and hopefully yep, there it is. All right, we're gonna
There we
go
go.
straight into the draft here, and yeah, I think there's kind of a lull in the meta department for League of Legends. The last patch wasn't like the biggest patch, I'd say, but it had some notable character changes. Like I believe that was the same patch as the Akshan changes, the Amumu changes, which was what about 2 weeks ago. So, starting off though, we have a couple of spicy bans. Gonna be Aatrox and Viego banned away. I mean, I still think he's busted, man.
Yeah, Viego is very strong, like I don't think it's okay how he can was it he goes like invulnerable when he ults and like changes forms, like you just can't hit him. So I just stuck there watching him become either better or slightly worse and then continue to roll your team afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's quite annoying, right? Like, I mean, he could be behind all he wants, but then he just comes back with a vengeance and starts to take over your strongest people. And I think that's one of the most, kind of brutal things if you're facing him.
You're looking at Renekton and Lee Sin being banned from the side of Silver Pink and Thresh and Samira being banned from the side of Silver Gray. So we'll see how draft develops in this first round.
Nunu. Wow, okay. Nunu's going to be the first pick, and I assume that's going to go to their jungler. Um, and I mean, Nunu isn't, probably not the best first pick in my opinion. I mean, because we already know where he's going, and he does have some counters. Since he is like a kind of a, you could stop his snowball, you could stop his ultimate, and things like that. But I mean, if they have a strategy, they will build around it. As red side, Rogue's
Oh
upsets is gonna
wow.
pick Warren.
Or-
How do you feel
It's
about that?
been a while since I've seen Orin, and I just, whenever I see Orin, I think of Alice's long string of comments about Orin, where he described it as a multitude of classes. I won't even begin to, to say what he said. But yeah, I really like Orin. I don't know how good he is right now in the top lane meta, but you know, if he's able to go late game, upgrade those items, he's always going to be useful.
I agree. It's always a late game assurance with picking in the first phase, right? You got to make sure, like, if you get countered or fall behind, you can come back with a vengeance, and make sure you do enough damage. Make sure you're helping your team, things like that. And it looks like Zaya is going to be picked on the side of Checkmate. Wonder why. I guess they decided to take away the Rakan with that Zaya pick, and maybe they'll pick a support here just to match it. This might be, some sort of a CC, like a Leona, but it is going to be Fiora. Okay.
Interesting. Not opting to pick their support, but to show their top lane early. I mean, I guess Ornn already was picked,
Yeah.
so Fiora's fine. Interesting that they are holding their support pick though. Maybe they have some sort of strategy up their sleeve. But I mean, yeah, Zaya. Apparently, one of my friends is telling me that they've been spamming Zaya and seeing a lot of success with her. So, guess we'll see it here.
Okay. And Varus was also picked. Very strong, I think, right now in the current meta. He's got the CC reliance. He's got a low cooldown on that ultimate. It's very very effective when you have a lot of CC and burst to also set up for his long range Q.
Yeah, we
And
saw, or I saw this exact combo coming out from Pink in I think game two. It was Varus Rakan. They they like did this the Rakan all around the map, and then they would bring the Rakan and the jungler down to the bot lane and then just wreak havoc. And that's how Zuko became like uber fed in that game.
okay, and yeah, it seems like they're banning out a couple of junglers here, as or rather, Volibear. I'm not sure if that was. Yeah, it is gonna be a jungle. I mean, Echo could be mid lane here, I suppose. So a couple of interesting bans. I guess those are more targeted because I feel like Pink has a good start with their draft, and they're just kind of banning out mid laners to make sure that there's not a lot of chaos with Echo and Silas being on the table. Being able to
Oh,
steal Ornn ult, Rakan ult, Varus ult, all three of those are good for him.
yeah, I really like the Sylas ban. That's really good for that's really good protection for them. And here we see the hover on Amumu. I really like Amumu having two Qs. I don't think it's like it's not that it didn't make him like that great like how he was with the new tank items coming into the season, but it still feels good to have those two Qs even though they're like what 3 seconds apart.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely a upgrade to a Mumu, to say the least. So we will be seeing Graves in the jungle from Pink. He's pretty. I feel like he is pretty strong. Maybe not into all of the later in the game people who can kind of burst him down like Kha'Zix, but it looks like they're taking a lot of burst on the other side as Fizz and Rel locked in. That's gonna be a lot of early aggression.
I mean, I like the Rel Zaya because Rel will set up for Zaya, and that'll just be a beautiful E for her to pull in. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at Fizz like flipped, and it just doesn't look right.
I agree. It really doesn't look right. Um, Looks like he's kind of awkwardly staring into the camera,
Yeah.
um, not knowing where he should be. But that is going to be Checkmate Gray's team versus Rawr's Rogue Upsets team, and all of the characters have been locked in. We will be starting shortly. I'm gonna throw up those predictions, and we'll get started soon here as we head into the game one of Gray versus Pink. Who do you think is going to take this one, judging from these comps?
Well, wait, with no background history or background knowledge, looking at the comps, I think I like Pink's team better just because it's a lot easier to execute. I mean, they just have for me, they have way stronger team fight here with the Galio Ornn being able to put out a lot of CC and Varys, as well, able to peel himself even if Fizz does get onto him. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I think Pink's gonna take this.
Okay, fair enough. I totally agree that their comp seems kind of easier to, get ahead, get assurance, late game assurance, and get ahead in the early game. A good setup from all sides of the map. You have a Galio mid, you have Rakan on the bottom side, Ornn on the top side. Graves has pretty much any lane he wants to gank at any angle he can, just as long as he has that CC setup. So that's gonna be good for the early aggression. I do think that Gray has sort of a trust in the players kind of comp. Like Fiora, like is gonna try to do her best against Ornn, and I mean Fizz is gonna have a little bit of a rough time versus Galio, but like it's definitely up to the jungler who is Nunu. He can pretty much go lane to lane and just be a setup for his team in that regard. So I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna give it to Gray on this one. I think I like their spicy comp, to say the least.
I mean, yeah, you're right in the sense and trust the players because Fizz, Fiora having that potential, like, or not potential. I mean, once they're fed, they can just take over the game. Fizz can just one-shot people left and right. Fiora can 1v5, healing through absolutely anything that comes their way. So I mean, yeah, you're right in that regard.
Okay, fair enough. And we're getting into the client bans and all that. I feel like this audio is so loud on here. Give me 1 second to fix that. But yeah, I think this is gonna be kind of an early, aggressive from both sides. I think Fizz wants to be aggressive early. Roam and Graves wants to be aggressive early, and Nunu wants to try to gank as much as possible. So I feel like this is going to be a spicy first game. We've seen that the first games of the Silver Series tend to go for like 40 minutes ish, and then the rest of the games kind of like even out. I actually got kicked out of the what just happened? Yeah. So let's see what happened there. Are you still in Champ Select?
I am still in Champ Select.
Wow.
Yes.
It just kicked me out.
Weird.
I didn't even press exit.
I guess can you message one of the players through that account?
I wonder if I could spectate while you guys get into the game.
You'd have to like spectate once. Once we've waited the 3-minute delay.
Ah, okay. That's possible. Okay.
I think that's
so.
possible.
Ooh.
If you have one of them added, it should be possible.
Yeah, I have them added.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like I could do it as they're in game, but I guess we'll see.
Okay, if we're unsure, we can always ask them to reset the draft.
Yeah, reset the draft, like exit and see if I can get back in there.
Well, if I exit, won't do anything because I'm only spectating. One of them has to exit in the lobby.
Yeah, I just told them.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's always got to be something wrong that happens with this client. Always something.
I mean, classic League client. That's how you know you're playing the right game. Unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure.
League clients broken, but hey, they're coming out with a new app. It's no longer League Plus. It's like Riot something. So we'll see how nice that looks. Oh, we're starting a new lobby?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Or. Actually, yeah.
I can invite you to this one.
Go ahead and try. I don't know if it'll work unless my client is like bugged. And can I get in? Oh, okay, there we go.
Nice.
Perfect. Never mind. Okay. Okay, he's gonna restart real quick, and then we'll get this show on the road. That was so weird. I mean, this client.
Yeah, I've never heard of anyone being kicked out in the spectator slot. That's kind of weird.
I know. That's so weird. It just happened randomly. It's as if somebody else left. So that was definitely interesting. But yeah, we should start shortly. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. We want a smooth, very smooth game one.
Looking at both teams, Gray just kind of lacks range here because they do have that the melee in the mid lane. They have Fizz, and then Zaya not being the longest range AD carry, and then everyone else being melee. So they have four melees and then Zaya. And then Pink, on the other hand, isn't that great either. They have Graves basically melee range, and then Varus, like only his abilities are really that far. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they position with these short ranges on both ends.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's kind of a toss up, right? Like I expect that if you want to get ahead on Gray, you have to be aggressive because the later the game goes, the more Orange upgrades everybody's items. The more damage that Virus and Graves does. It's really it's really dependent. We'll see how it works out. But we're back in the client, so hopefully that disconnect doesn't happen again. But go ahead and put in your predictions. You have like about 5 minutes, I think, to go ahead and put in your predictions. Let's see what they're at so far. Majority going over to Checkmate Gray in this case. Wow. All right.
Perhaps there's some inside intel there.
Yeah.
From
some Gray fans in the chat. Let's go. Love to see it. Love to see it. And yeah, it hasn't disconnected me so far, so that's a good thing.
Heard someone's dropping a 20 kill game, and who would that be, Gitano? Who is dropping 20 kills this game?
There we go. 20 kill game.
ADC Zuko.
Yeah. That was, man. Wasn't that oh, I can't remember. Oh, for Gray. Okay, for Gray.
Oh, for Gray.
Just Yolts. Making the big words count. Let's see it. I mean, like I said, some of these games have lasted 40 plus minutes in the previous weeks that we've had, so I'm not expecting it to be a close game. However, there was a 20-minute game last week too, if I remember correctly, and that was that caught me and I believe it was Riley on off by surprise so bad. I was like, what just happened?
20-minute game.
Yeah, 20-minute game. So that's probably been the shortest one that we've had in the Silver Split. And I think a 45 minutes game, or 45 or 50-minute game was the longest so far. So that's an interesting tidbit. But yeah. And yeah, I mean, there's a patch coming soon, so I'm curious. I haven't actually looked at what they're changing yet on any champion. But it's been a while since the last patch, has it not? And I feel like the Amumu changes were kind of the only staple of that patch. I feel like nothing else was too big except for maybe the bug fixing on Akshan, who is hasn't been really picked lately. But yeah.
Is Akshan allowed in the Silver League right now? I'm not sure.
I believe it's been 2 weeks. Since his release. I'm not actually sure. I'll have to look that up a little bit, but yeah, it's every almost 2 weeks after the release he should be available. So
I guess it makes sense. Give Riot a bit of time or one patch to fix anything that's super OP or super weak with the champion before they're allowed, or we allow the players to play.
For sure. And I am going to run a quick ad break for all of our subscribers. You don't have to worry about a thing. All right. So, yeah, this is going to be a good first game. It's hard to say, because obviously we haven't seen Checkmate before. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I mean, there's a lot of points handed over to Gray. So hopefully you guys are right and claim your points. But, we'll see. It is only the first game out of a best of 3. So... we will have maybe 2 more chances. Could go to a game 3. That would be nice, as always. If not, well, somebody's gonna get the 2-0.
I think it's probably gonna be 2-0 for whoever. I mean, of course, it's gonna be 2-0 for whoever wins the first game. But like, I see it going 2-0 because if Gray is able to beat the Pink that I saw when I casted, they're gonna win game 2 anyways. But if Pink wins game 1 with what I saw before, they're gonna win game 2. So I'd love a 3-game series, but I don't see it going the distance.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see. So yeah, we do have CM Dean on the top side. I mean, it's hard to say, because they're playing such aggressive champions, and we don't know their like exact skill on those champions. We could look at the OPGGs all day, but like when we actually see the mechanics in game, we'll know like, hey, that should be a target ban right there. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to say right now, but this is gonna be I can tell this is gonna be a spicy first game just from those picks alone. So
I mean,
definitely,
like you said, both teams really want to clash early to get that lead and push through the mid game. Pink has that cushion that Ornn being able to scale late and help his team scale, whereas I mean, I guess Fiora scales really well.
yeah,
Zaya full items pretty scary as well as any other ADC, but Pink has a slight um, or maybe not even slight. They do have the advantage in liking because of the Ornn. So yeah, we'll see how aggressive each team really wants to be to push for that lead early.
yep. And we're about to get into game 1 of Gray versus Pink. Checkmate versus Rawr's Rogue Upsets. As the spectator delay is about to go out. And the Silver League, obviously we didn't get to cast the previous, I think 2-3 games that were played over the weekend and on Monday, but rest assured we're still here. We just did not unfortunately have any casters for those games, but yeah, let's take a look at the summoner spells here while I'm waiting so we can dive into some of these playstyles, I guess. We do see that Fizz took Ignite. Always wanting to be an assassin, blowing up people is one of his specialties. I am a very good, a self-appointed good Fizz player, I think. So I'm excited to see what Legend of Soa can pull out from the Fizz. It's once a Fizz gets behind, it's very very hard to get back into the game unless you get a nice gold shutdown, get your items, and that's how you pretty much get back into the game. Galio is kind of a it's not really I feel like he's not necessarily a counter to Fizz, but if you play Galio to a certain extent, you'll know like how to play reactively and proactively with Fizz on the enemy team, and vice versa, because Fizz also has to play a certain way to be able to withstand that magic resistant Galio that champion is, and Galio is just super annoying, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Galio tanky does a fair amount of damage, puts out a lot of CC. Like he does it all. He really does.
He really does. I totally agree. Um, but yeah, I think it was interesting that Gray chose blue side first, because I mean, obviously we haven't really seen um, them before, and that's kind of a bold statement. I feel like you'd want to have counter pick against a team you haven't faced before, but I mean, their confidence went blue side.
Maybe they just have, or they know that their Nunu is really good, so they just prioritize that and like, yeah, you know what? This Nunu is gonna be able to roam or gank all the lanes, get us ahead. It doesn't matter. We just pick
Sure.
Nunu and we're fine.
Wookie, what do you think about Grasp on Fizz here or Conquer, since they're going to be splitting in my head? Well, I feel like Fizz is, one to push the wave and roam. I don't think he wants to look for Grasp procs necessarily, at least for early on. I think he wants to roam as much as he possibly can. So having the electrocute and then just roaming We'll proc that a lot, especially if you get a good lead ahead. And we're in game 1, so the electrocute, pretty standard on Fizz. But, it might be an option for Conquer, but I feel like extended fights is just not Fizz's way. And let's see what kind of 5-point or invade either of these teams wants to go. See, Rome being
Looks
risky
like
here. Not really. You just have to time Galio's ultimate, really. You have to know when he just used it and capitalize on that as Fizz.
Graves looking for this river ward here. Maybe he'll get caught out by the Rel W, as we see all 5 members showing up in this bush here, but here comes Gallia to back him up, so we'll see what happens here. As Rel gets the engage onto 2, he gets the knockup. Zarya gonna drop a lot of damage. Ignite is dropped into Graves, and he will fall. That is first blood going over to Fizz,
Ooh.
nonetheless.
Oh.
Wow, flash coming out from Rel, gonna remount for the joust, knocks up the Gallia, and that is 2-0. Wow.
Oh man. Okay. That's what you want to see. Kill on Fizz and a kill on Fiora. That is a perfect early game. I think Pink just kind of overstepped their bounds there.
Oh yeah, they just wanted the ward. They weren't expecting all 5 of them to be there, and they gave them the time for that 5th member to roam over from Gray. So I mean, yeah, perhaps it was an overstep. I mean, we've never seen great plays, so we don't know if this is a normal play style, if they were just trying something. No previous knowledge here.
Yeah, I do feel though that you got to be prepared for that situation, and it might sound cheesy, but always be prepared for those types of things. No matter where they are on the map, they could be right in your face, and you just don't know it. A little bit of trading going back and forth on the top
Trade
side.
in the top lane. Fiora will
no.
be taken very low, but Ornn will not kill him. But here comes Nunu for the gank. Will he land his snowball? No, he will not be able to curve the snowball. But here comes the other snowballs that will not proc the stun because Ornn flashes away.
Nice flash there to time out that root.
As well, Pink hits the early level 2, goes aggressive, but isn't able to get anything because Gray respects their level 2.
Yep, and the level 2 is certainly strong on the side of Pink, as it is on the side of Gray as well, but I just didn't hit it first. Oh.
They're gonna be even more aggressive. Rel hits a knock up onto the Rakan, and nothing is to be had here. Gray still is level 1. They're not. Oh, never mind. They're just about to hit level 2. They are barely in XP range.
Yep, there it is. And I mean, that was a really late level 2 for their side. They just didn't have enough minions experience range due to the early aggression, early poke. Zuko's almost out of mana, though, so he might have to take a reset here soon. His jungler is on blue side's part of the
Graves
map.
taking that red. Maybe he'll look for a gank. Plus, I know he's gonna back up for the Scuttle Crab. But yeah, that is a 3 buff, looking like a 3 buff for the Graves. He'll be very happy about that one.
Yeah, he saw Nunu top side, so it's like, that's pretty much a free red buff. He knew he started blue side.
Or with the level advantage, I can just bully this Fiora just a little bit. Maybe proc his grasp. As the Gallic gets a knock up onto Fizz, the taunt will come through. Here comes Grave with the red buff. And Fizz will fall.
Ah.
Oh, Fiora also wastes the parry but ignites the Ornn. Maybe she will get the kill. Ornn is tanking minion damage and ignite, and he will fall to the Fiora.
Yeah, I think that sequence of it. Oh, well, a little bit of a invade here once again. Nunu can't really do anything about it. He has no mid laner.
He just has to watch as his little chickens are taken away. Rel does walk up. Oh, Nunu hits the knockup, but Rel is not there to follow.
Yep, and just going back to that sequence of events, I feel like Fizz had the wrong side of the jungle warded at that time, was pushed up a little bit too far, was not able to escape properly out of there with his playful trickster ability.
I mean, good on Galio to hit the knockup and then just kind of walk with him a little bit until Graves got closer, and then hold the taunt, and then when Fizz was looking to get away, taunt pops, and then yeah, Graves can finish that one off.
For sure. And this is going to be a Mountain Drake first off. I think that'll benefit both teams, Nunu and Rel and Ornn and Galio and Rakan. So doesn't matter for the first dragon. I'm curious if it's going to be an Ocean Soul though.
I really hope it's an Ocean or Inferno. I haven't seen one of those lately, but here comes more aggressive trades coming out of both top laners. Fiora hitting a lot of vitals. Ornn trying his best to trade back. I mean, he does actually end up winning the trade, so good on him.
Yeah, Dean's being a very aggressive during this early portion of the game. And did get Ornn once, and did get an early kill before that. But is just getting out-traded.
Look at Graves invading yet again, but on the top side of the map this time. He took red earlier, he took some of the chickens, now he's taking Gromp. Like, he owns both sides of the jungle right now.
Yeah, I think that's kind of expected for a Graves. Like I said, Graves wants to do stuff early as CMD.
More trades coming out of the top lane. Here comes the Ornn ulti, and that will kill the Fiora. That is a shutdown going over to Ornn, and Graves gets the assist.
That was a point-blank Ornn hammer, or Ornn horn, excuse me. And blind on top of that means can't really do anything about that.
Well, that's scary. You're blinded by Graves, and all of a sudden you're just dead to Ornn ulti.
Exactly. But yeah, good shutdown. I mean, I like to see the Bramble Vest straight off the bat for Jason here. That is the best buy he could possibly make against the Fiora, and just shut Fiora down. So he's gonna come back with a lot more defensive tools.
I mean, yeah, there's the Trinity in the top lane against, if you're playing Ornn against AD, you build the Tobbies, Bombies, and Bramble, and they're not doing anything to you anymore. They're literally tickling you while you play the game.
Exactly. Even the plated steel caps, if he was able to get that too, that would very much be like, you can't do any damage to me, Fiora, for the rest of the game. As they're gonna take Dragon here. I think this is an appropriate response. They did see Graves on the top side of the map. Get that Fiora.
Fiora getting knocked up by the Ornn. Nothing yet, but here we see Rakan and Graves are gonna be roaming up to the top lane. We'll see if Fiora will be able to get out of this one highly, or probably not. But here comes Galio getting two-manned in the mid lane, and Fiora trying her very best to live. Knockup not landing, but literally doesn't matter because there are three members there.
Excellent roams from the jungle and bot side of the map. This means that Zuko is alone. Let's see if Now You See Me will want to actually dive this with Yolts. But it doesn't look like it. They're just going to take a plate and kind of wait till level 6 to make those risky engages here.
Rakan with Galio. The knockup does land. Taunt will not land, and nothing to be had there. But I mean, yeah, this is catch my hooks on the Rakan that I saw before. Just perma roaming, leaving Zuko alone. Zuko able to just live. I mean, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Gray goes for the dive. Definitely a lot harder now that Varus is 6, because if Rawr tries to go in, just immediately gets Varus ulted, and that's that.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be, a sliver of health that Now You See Me is on, and somehow Yolts gets the kill. I mean, Zuko still has both summoner spells, so a dive probably just isn't possible here.
Let's see if Nunu's able to chomp smite this one. No, it looks like, Cheeky. Here he gets to the root onto the grave. He gets knocked up by the Rakan. See who ends up getting this Herald. Nunu holding his smite, and Graves does get it. Rakan forced to flash out, but yeah, that is Herald going. Oh wait, did they even grab the eye? I didn't watch it. As Zuko is getting dove. Knockup doesn't land, and neither does Desire ult, and Zaya is tanking the tower. She will fall down. Varus is ignited. We'll see if he gets both, and yes, Zuko gets a double kill on your tower. Wow.
Oh man, I said like, hey, Now You See Me has to be the one tanking there for that to be able to work, and like you said, he
gank in the mid lane, Zig. Oh no, not Zig, sorry, Fizz. Yeah, anyways, nothing happens because Galio does the same thing he did last time, just taunts and runs away.
Yeah, these are some spicy plays being made from both teams, and some of them are just working out. But it is in the favor of Pink for now. We do have quite a bit of a gold lead already, 2K. And Dean, oh
Orin gets a
no.
nice knock up onto the Fiora. Will she fall? Oh, here comes the Orin ultimate. Maybe a fadeaway? Nope. Fiora
Oh
dives to the
no.
Ram running at Orin. That is not what you like to see. As yeah, Nunu gets caught out in his own jungle and just gets ulted by the Graves as well. A lot of MIA pings going on the map right now as Rel is caught in. Oh, never mind. She is not caught. She is able to retreat kind of safely. Oh, maybe not. Here comes
Ooh.
Rakan ulti getting the charm onto 2, gets the knock up onto the Rel. Xayah being taken very low. Rel hits a nice ultimate to maybe preserve Xayah's life here as she has forced to flash away under tower and Ignite is used.
Lot of summoner spells used, a lot of abilities used for pretty much nothing, but a lot of pressure.
Fiora coming back from base. She is like 3 levels down.
Oh
Oh,
my
now 2
god.
levels down, but here comes the Vitals coming through. Maybe Fiora ult. Not able to hit that
Ooh.
last Vital and Orin able to flash away and gets away with his life.
Ah, man, the flash advantage for Orin is crucial here. That one last vital popped would have been the end of Jason. Dean coming back for a vengeance, but can't get anything out of it.
It was funny to see the level 6 Fiora run it at the Orin, and it actually almost worked. I mean, yeah, that with that flash advantage, Fiora is not able to catch up. So TP is coming out from Galio into the top lane. Never mind, sorry. That is Galio recall and Orin TP. Pardon me.
And yeah, it looks like on Morak? I guess on I'll just call him Morak for now.
Morak.
Coming down for the bot
Xayah
lane here. Ooh.
is used, stopwatch used by Rakan here, and Zuko pops his ult to save his Rakan. That was indeed perfect timing there.
That
That
indeed
saves
was.
Rakan's life.
Good follow-up. Good teamwork from Zuko and Hooks. They played that very well. As that stopwatch does come in handy early on for those purposes.
We'll get Infernal Drake as our second Drake. So Ocean Drake or Ocean Soul, still a possibility. The dream is still there. See if we get it as Fizz roams up to the top lane. Fiora misses her repost, but Orin just dashes through both of them. Gets slowed by the Fizz ulti. He will be taken very low. He pops his ult button. Doesn't matter. He falls, and that is a shutdown going over to Fiora. As another fight goes up into the bot lane, Nunu gets taunted up immediately. CC is the Graves. She is stuck versus 3 members of Khan's 1v1ing the ADC over there, but yeah, Rel is just dead after engaging there.
That was a total man disadvantage there for the side of Gray. They just didn't have the members, and to the very devastating team fight of Pink, they will lose this Infernal Dragon, and it is a Cloud Soul. So, oh well.
No, it's a Cloud Soul.
Oh well.
Oh well. It'll be fun to see people rotate faster, or even faster.
True. I mean, Cloud Soul for either of these teams is pretty huge. Just for like the Rakan ultimate, pretty much stacks very well. But we'll see who gets it, or even if it's going to be taken, as you know, the gold lead just keeps going more and more in Pink's favor. They are already almost 3k up now. And it looks like a lot of Pinks coming out on the mid lane. They just don't know where anybody's at on the side of Gray.
Catch my hooks with a nice engage. Here comes Galley with a follow-up. Yeah, that is a lot of CC going onto the Rel. We know Varus ulti into Galio ult. It's just gone. And here comes Nunu with the response on the top side onto the Orin, and Orin will be taken very, very low and will fall once again to the Fiora. Fiora getting a lot of gold now through these ganks.
Oh no, he ults.
Oh, sorry, Xayah. I looked away for a second, and here comes Xayah. Xayah's just dead.
Yeah, it's that's just unfortunate. And you know, Yoltz was kind of stuck there. Was no way out. Had to take the fall because Rel was not there. And I mean, there's a lot of aggression coming out on the top side of the map for Gray, and a lot of bottom side aggression for Pink.
Yeah, junglers just focusing different sides of the map, and it is going their way with these ganks. And here comes Fizz with another roam. No CC landing on the Varus. Nice flash coming out from Zuko by Rel. Gets the ult onto 2 of them, but here comes the rest of Pink. Galley gets a really nice taunt onto both of them, and wow, they are just melted instantly as soon as those 2 member join.
Here we go again with the man advantage. I mean, they had no idea where anybody else was on the map. and
Oh.
disrespecting that. Dean.
Orange not getting the knock up onto Dean. We'll
Ooh.
see if he's able to catch up. Dashes all doesn't connect with the wall, so he doesn't get the knock up, but the slow comes through anyways. Fiora goes for the auto. We'll see if she's able to get away with her life. Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, oh no. Orange is gonna
Oh.
continue down the lane, just running through the tower. He doesn't care. He's
Oh
in between
no.
both towers. No, he's gonna land another key. No.
Oh.
Oh, it's so close, yet so far. Wait, he's going again. He
He is
walks back in the
pushing it.
tower.
He's pushing it.
What
He
is happening
really
in the top
wants
side of the
that
map right
Fiora.
now?
Oh my gosh. But hey, it is his choice. He controls the lane at this point. There's no doubt about that, as you know, he has all the tools needed to kind of not take any damage from Fiora at this point. Does have a strong CS lead, has a couple kills on his belt, and is about to take this top tier 1 tower.
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight featuring Ornn. You know, he just runs through towers. Well, maybe he gets caught out here, but Graves is there for the backup, blinds Zephyra, and yeah, Ornn gets away.
Yeah, they might do the 2v2 up here. I mean,
Huh?
Soa's nearby. He does pop the Chum the Waters. Is not going to hit due to the unstoppableness of Ornn, though.
Rakan popped his W, and here comes the Nunu snowball getting bigger and bigger, chasing down the Rakan through the river. Zaya sets up her ult preemptively, doesn't get the root onto Rakan, but nice flash ult coming out of the Rel, and that will be Rakan falling, and Zuko will fall shortly after. It goes to the Nunu, unfortunately, though. We'd like to see that going to the Zaya if possible, but hey, I kill shutdown, it's a shutdown.
For sure. And I mean, that is what you want to see when you're behind in gold. So a shutdown is indeed a shutdown. And a little bit of less pressure off the map as they're trying to get ready.
Back and forth in the top lane. Dean showing that he is not afraid. He has hit 2 vitals so far. Hits the 3rd one. Walks back for the 4th. Popped all the vitals. Goes under the tower. Wow, Ornn flashes away, but doesn't matter. Fiora gets the kill anyways.
Wow. Good play from Dean to kind of turn that one around. Did pop a few vitals before casting the ultimate. Then popped all the vitals on the ultimate. So good job for Dean there, as Dragon is almost up, 30 seconds. Both teams are kind of lurking down there, as Dean is tearing through this topside tower. Does have the TP available, so does Ornn though, so just depends who can get back first and help out the team with those nice engages that both top laners are kind of going back and forth with.
And yeah, now that Fiora has gotten all those all that gold through those ganks, she's able to just, you know, walk through this Ornn, and now it's really hard because, you know, Ornn with this TP and Ornn being Ornn, you know, you want a team fight, you want to be able to help your team with your ulti and your Naga, but you can't because Fiora is just gonna run down these towers.
Hey, you have to respect the split pusher herself, as
Fiora TPing into the back line, and Pink goes on to retreat. Never mind, Rakan hits a nice 3-man ulti, followed by the Galio, hits a 3-man taunt. Rel hits a nice CC chain of her own. Zuko gets 1. Fizz trades 1 back. Catch my hooks being taken very low. The root goes through onto the Galio. He hits the knockup. Zuko does get a triple kill here as 3 members of Pink survive. So yeah, 2 for 3 here. Maybe we're not done just yet, as Zaya might be caught. Ornn gonna continue the chase here. Pops the ulti, but gets rooted by the Zaya, so he won't be able to pop his ult. Very nice timing from Just Yells, but maybe it won't matter because Ornn is Ornn. Yep, just smacks her down with his hammer.
Yeah, that was an interesting team fight, because Yoltz and Now You See Me were kind of cut off at the end of that. Did not go the same route as their teammates did, and their team ended up dying for that. And this is going to be a Cloud Dragon over to Pink.
Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth CC. Zuko's team, Pink, just did a great job appealing for him, and he was able to pick up all those kills. Galio, even on 1 HP, he went for the dash and the taunt onto the remaining 2 members of the enemy team.
What's interesting is that even though Momo and Catch My Hooks hit both of their ultimates or knockups, their team wasn't really there at the start to kind of follow up on that. But as the team fight dragged on, they were able to kind of protect the Varus, make sure Zuko was getting enough autos and Qs off that that was it for them. So,
Yolts
oh no.
might be caught out yet again to the Graves. We'll see if she has enough damage to take him out. No, she won't, because Graves point blank hurts a lot.
Oof. Yeah, 2 items in will do a lot of damage, as bot side is the pressure for Team Grey right now.
Gray is looking for the bot side. Here comes catch my hooks with engage. It doesn't land any CC onto either of the members. Galio trying to recover the taunt, but it doesn't matter either way.
It's a good attempt, but unfortunately that parry will stop literally everything.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, even if Rakan did land his W and Charm, it would have been blocked by the Fiora anyway, so yeah, either way, play wasn't gonna work. We see Nunu rolling Snowball into Orin's face. Fizz is coming, and Xayah will be joining shortly as well. We'll see if Nunu is able to survive. He pops the ult for the damage reduction. Here comes Fizz ult to slow the Orin, as Orin is taken to half HP, but he pops his ult. And here comes Xayah to join the fight and do the rest of the damage, but Nunu once again takes the kill. And Galio responds to the boss of the map with his ult, and Rawr just falls really, really quickly.
Wow, a lot of fights happening cross map, and I feel like you know, the same thing is happening where top side aggression is going to Gray, but the bot side aggression is going to Pink, and kind of an even trade.
Oh, cheeky play from Fiora here onto the Zuko. Will be interesting. Zuko doesn't have ult available, but he flashes away and does a lot of damage onto the Fiora. And here comes Graves for the backup. This will most likely be a kill for Pink as long as Zuko doesn't mess up here, as Dean is playing with their feelings a little bit in the alcove, and he will fall to Graves.
Ooh. Unfortunately, Dean could not get the flash out of Zuko earlier. Did not expect it, I assume, and good play by Zuko to kind of be patient and wait for his team, not do anything too reckless, not get himself caught in a situation where a trade of kills means they get a little bit further ahead.
Ward here, Rel will go for the jump as she knows the ward was just placed, and here comes Nunu, but he gets rooted up by the Varus ulti, who hits a nice Q onto the rest of the members. Xayah lays down her feathers and pulls it right away. Well, Rakan gets a nice 2-man ult, but here comes Fizz onto Zuko. Zuko will be shut down by the Fizz. Nunu pops his ult in the bush, gets knocked up by the Galio. We'll see what happens towards, nope. Both team, oh, maybe we have a little more, as that Drake is speeding them up. Nunu hits a nice snowball. Graves will kill the Nunu instantly, but will fall right after, and finally a shutdown going over to Xayah.
Wow, this is complete chaos, man.
I finished casting something on the mat, and then something else happens again, and then wow, there's a lot happening. You're right.
This is the Silver League. Welcome to Silver League, where chaos just is happening constantly, as it is 20 minutes in, a 4K gold lead over to Pink, but a lot of back and forth, like you said, and a lot of towers taken, but no real, like, fast forward objectives going to either side just yet. Just a lot of kills.
Yeah, I'd like to see either or both of the teams just knocking down this mid tower. We see on the map that both mid towers are really low, and then it'll really open up the rest of the map, as that would be all the tier 1s taken off the map.
I agree, and you know, another Drake coming up. A lot of preparation from both sides. Once again, I mean, look at just the amount of wardage coming out from Gray. I like to see that, as looks like Pink has the upper hand on that tower, though.
That will be mid tier 1 going out, or Pink doing good, expanding that cone of pressure.
And yeah, this is going to be another 5v5, as all members are here.
Pink is all on the bot side of the map, and Fiora is getting caught out here. Rakan pops his ulti, and maybe, nope, Fiora just gets shot by Graves, and yeah, that is now, Pink has a man advantage now, 5v4.
Let's see if they decide to go for it. I wouldn't, you know, because you are behind. You don't want to just give more kills over with the man disadvantage.
Pink's saying that they are just going to zone the enemy team off completely. They're not going to give them the option to contest it.
Yeah, that is fair, and I do like this play from Yoltz, who is just kind of going for the mid tower. I don't think he'll get it in time. Chum the water's used.
See if Yoltz gets out. My directed camera is not properly set onto the Xayah, but here comes Ornal, which will not be casted, or he'll miscast on the second part, and Xayah will get away.
Yeah, the team Team Gray is trying to back her up.
Rakan with the flash W missing. I mean, Pink's really just trying to chase down this Zaya using a lot of resources and time. We'll see if it pays off in the end. Yeah, Graves cutting off the Zaya, and yeah, that will be another kill going over to Graves.
Super strong Graves right now, and you know, they just kind of have to be pressured out of their own side of the jungle.
Nunu
No.
caught out. Yeah, wow, another
Oh,
member
man.
from Grave being caught out, and Rel is engaging onto the Ornn, which will not matter either way. As yeah, Pink going for the Baron now, so they just took Dragon, ran them down, and then now taking the Baron.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that Morak just couldn't get out of there. Did not know, didn't have any wards in their own side of the jungle. And this is a Baron, so this is going to be a pretty good push for Pink, as I hope they can get a lot out of this and use it properly, as it is a certain window of opportunity for them to kind of get more towers. They don't have any inhibitor towers taken down yet. We'll see if one pops up for them. And looks like they're kind of doing a interesting split here. They're just doing a 5-point for now. There is TP up for both of the mid laner and top laner of Pink. I wonder if they're going to coordinate in the mid. They're just pushing out waves. Top wave is pretty much pushed out, as we see them going mid lane.
I would like to see the Ornn finish off that tower in the top lane. You know, you have that Baron buff to sit there buffing the minions a little longer for that top tower to fall.
Yeah, I guess he would be scared, though. He has been pressured so much this entire game on the Ornn, and I mean, just having that pressure in the bot side will help him out. He can, you know, always TP to that top side or even to the mid lane if a fight breaks out.
Fiora once again in the enemy team's jungle. We'll see if she gets caught out. As yeah, we have 5 versus 4 members in a small area here, and Rakan pops his Shirelias and runs after the Fiora. Yeah, kind of deja vu here. Fiora in the same bush, surrounded by 5 members, but here comes a response from Grid taking down this mid tower. I mean, Fiora, I guess, is just wasting the time as she tries to TP away. Will she get out?
Oh,
yes,
she
will.
does.
So she wastes their time, and for that, her team responds with mid tier 1. Was it worth her TP?
We'll see. Ooh.
Graves doing a lot of damage onto the Nunu, but the ult is not enough to end his life.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get out of that one. And at least, you know, the wasting time part, I think, is the most crucial out of that. They wasted enough time for, like, the Baron to at least tick down quite a lot. And, but there's still pressure. Ooh.
As Graves is hurting from the short range he does have. He is just doing a lot of damage. He is 8 and 3 as the Fizz ult lands onto the Rakan, but not much to do there.
Yep.
Wow, Zaya being taken half to half health by the Varus Q.
That is a lot of damage. That's a lot of poke, and I mean that's what they want to do. They want to poke them down so that the dive comp from Pink can do its job a little bit easier.
We are going for the 1v1 here. She does pop her ultimate. 2 vitals are gone. Ornn flashes away, very wise, so he does not die as he joins the rest of his team.
Kind of a stalemate here.
Yeah, a lot of abilities are being used. Ornn ult coming out. A lot of flashes as well. But Zaya has Feather set up but is not able to pull them back, and Nunu falls to Graves, and here comes the rest of both teams. Ornn taking down the Fizz and Varus taking down the Fiora. That is 3 for 0 on the side of Pink, and they are not done yet. Graves goes with the flash forward onto the Rel. Will she get it? Rakan is taking the tower, very nice. Love to see a flash W onto the Rel on the base, but Graves does not have enough damage to take him out, as the rest of Graves' team is pushing down the base. Their Baron did expire. Wow, 3 for 0.
Yeah, that is gonna be a lot of towers down. Oh, it's not done yet.
Rel going for the engage, gets taunted up by the Galio. Zaya able to, one auto away from killing the Varus. Oh, she hits the Varus with the Q and gets a triple kill. Going on
Wow.
to Yolt. Wow. That is a lot of gold going up to Yolt. 700 gold shutdown from the Galio.
Wow, is that the reverse Uno card, I think, of Checkmate Gray there, as they can only really push out now as they do have an inhibitor down. This dragon is currently up, and Graves is nearby. He does a lot of damage.
Well, Graves might be able to just kill this Nunu on site.
Oh
Yeah, I think some
my
very
gosh.
low. If Graves had that red buff slow, I think Nunu would have been dead there.
For
But here comes a
sure.
re-engage back. Oh, this gets point blank ulted by the Graves. That doesn't matter. Xayah gets another shutdown. This is really good from Gray, giving these shutdowns to Xayah, and she's able to. She'd be very happy backing now. You know, they also got the dragon, which is very nice.
Yeah, that's a couple item or two maybe. Does have 3,600 gold in the pocket. That is gonna be a nice buy. It looks like a Infinity Edge might be the next one up. That is gonna put her very, very much on the same level as Varus. Maybe not so much Graves. I mean, Graves is pretty hefty right now. Looking at the Umbral Glaive and Serpent's Fang combo there with the Eclipse. Oh, so much damage. As Baron is the next thing on the table. 40 seconds. Pink has the advantage on this one again, though.
I mean, yeah, they have the vision set up, they have the position, and yeah, I'd like to point out like the gold lead here between Xayah and Varus. Xayah is actually ahead of Varus with all those shutdowns and the CS difference here. Xayah is up, what is that? 1k. I mean, hey, 1k is 1k, and that is surprising seeing how Zuko went 2-0 early on in lane.
For sure. And unfortunately, they, like I said earlier, they just can't really do much except push out for now, as Warren and the rest of his team are on opposite sides of the map. Dean has to 1v1 him again.
Yeah, from Sphera popping the ultimate, hits all vitals. Ornn being taken very low really quickly,
Oh,
and she will fall to the Fiora. Wow.
3 item Fiora does that. Uh, to an Ornn. As we do see that Ornn does have chains. I wonder who he has it on, because I don't think it was Fiora.
Probably not. That didn't seem like her damage was reduced at all.
Yeah.
And also interesting, Ornn opted for the Force of Nature, as Fiora going for a little bit more onto this Gallia, but it gets taunted up, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is now in the favor of Gray. They are gonna start it up, see if they can get it.
They're burning it pretty quickly considering what they have. We'll see if they're able to get it. Nunu is able to, oh, he used his Chomp early. He won't have Chomp Q. He gets taunted up, and Nunu does secure the Baron, but at what cost? Here comes the rest of Pink. It's going to clean up a lot of the members, and Soa is left in no man's land. Oh, never mind. He gets a nice playful Trickster, and Galio says, where are you going? And he starts, he kills him and starts TPing to the enemy base.
Yeah, it's only Yolts. We've seen this before, though.
Yeah. 2 ults being used, Zonya's being popped, and yeah, you know what? Pink just said, you know what, sure, you know what, you sit back there and I'm gonna end the game, and that is game 1 going over
Oh,
to
man.
Silver Pink.
Wow. Okay. So, that was an interesting game. We had a lot of back and forth. We had a lot of pretty much, 1v3s that, worked out. We had a lot of 1v1s. We had pretty much everything on the board there. And a pretty good game at 33 minutes. It will go over to Pink, though. They had the nice late game. They had the early game kind of there. And a lot of those points now going over to Pink. Sorry, Gray fans. Maybe in the next game, as that was a good first showing, I think, though, from Team Gray. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, we know Pink is a strong team as they have the second seed, and Gray did hold their ground. I mean, it's kind of weird because they did, both teams played on the opposite sides of the map, or at least the junglers did. So the focus was split. So I mean, in that regard, they did succeed in getting that Fiora ahead and getting her to a point where she could 1v1 the enemy laner. And I mean, although she was just forced to just keep defending her base, she wasn't able to, really split push as much as she wanted to. if their initial goal was to funnel resistance into the top lane, they did it. But unfortunately, their bot side was just so weak. Catchment Hooks was just roaming all throughout the map, getting advantages back for his team. So I mean, yeah, strong showing from both teams, but Pink was just better.
Yep, and I just found out that Gray will be taking red side this time. So we'll see if any of their plans change because they had an okay start. They had 2 kills on both of their carries, but couldn't finish it out. And I feel like this is where kind of the comps came into play, where like you said, like in the pregame draft, it was just easier to execute on the side of Pink. So I'm curious as to where that's gonna go. We'll get into the draft shortly. But yeah, I do think that was a good showing from Gray for the first game.
If I'm Gray, I'm thinking that we have to ban either the Rakan or the Galio. I mean, both of them together, they were just providing so much CC for their team and so reliably as well. So you gotta take away one of them, in my opinion.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, you could try to pick apart that team fight comp, but we'll see if Rogue Upsets does have like other answers, especially now being on the blue side. They will have to pick into the red side and be countered some way or another. As we that was a lot of spicy champions on the first game from both sides. And let me just go ahead and create the draft real quick for them. Should be up shortly. Let's see. And I wonder if a lot of the points are gonna go over to Pink this time around. I mean, I feel like for a first showing on blue side, which you had no idea what to expect from the other team and vice versa. I feel like both teams kind of just played their best there, despite the few hiccups that Pink had during the early game, especially. I think they came back with a vengeance, and the draft is almost up and good to go. So we'll see what kind of changes. We haven't seen a lot of comps, obviously, from Gray, but that was an okay comp, I think. They had the pick potential. They had the late game Fiora that did a lot of damage. I mean, just in the 1v1, we started to see all those 1v1s kind of added up,
Yeah,
and
they did.
and I mean, good job on Dean to kind of facilitate a comeback for himself at least. He was able to best the Ornn at the end of the game, and we are about to go in. I'm just waiting on the ready up from both teams, and let's see. There's that.
Wonder if Pink will be gifted their trio. I mean, they've ran the Galio Rakan Varus before, and now that's another success with that combo. We'll see if they run it again, or if they're given the opportunity to run it again.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the bans definitely have to change. I think on both, probably maybe even both sides. I think that the Xayah was certainly a problem. Maybe not without the support, but it was definitely a problem later on into the game where, I mean, literally 1v3 at base, saving the game for a little bit longer. Didn't miss quite a few ultimates, if I remember correctly, or at least the pullback of the feathers. But I feel like Yoltz had a strong, good first game for that one. So maybe a little bit more pressure on the ADC side, on that bot lane duo might work for them, as Gray is gonna go ahead and ban the Aatrox once again.
Aatrox Viego, same bans as we saw before. I mean, yeah, I really like Gray's potential here. I mean, they did get picked out quite a bit. We saw the Nunu getting picked out, Jura being picked off, and then the Xayah also with slight mispositions. I mean, this is good, their first showing, if you're able to iron out these little things and maybe change their focus on which side of the map to play, maybe they have a shot here.
Yeah, I agree. As the Fiora was actually the target for the side of Pink. I mean, that was definitely sort of a problem. I mean, not only did Dean waste their time, he 1v1 constantly, was able to come back, and then one actually just 1v1s Ornn at late game. So definitely a good ban coming out from them. On the other
Galio,
side,
yes, we
yep,
like to see it.
we like to
Galio
see
being
it.
banned.
Yeah, that was definitely a menace, especially kind of being the team fight engager for the side of Pink last time. It was definitely a problem. Will not have that impact this game, so it might make it a little bit easier for Gray to draft now. As Varus is the first one to be picked up for Pink. Once again, Zuko, he was very patient in the lane. He let, he let Catch My Hooks kind of roam and do his thing while he just stayed in lane. He actually 1v2'd. On the other side, they're actually going to take the Xayah Rakan.
Zaire, interesting. So, I mean, yeah, what I wanted to happen, I wanted Rakan and Galio. One of them or both of them gone, and they banned one, picked the other, and then repicked the Zaya, and the Zaya Rakan with that little extra synergy that they have. Very nice.
Yes, indeed. As Braum is kind of a good counter pick towards that. Definitely can shrug off those feathers with his mighty shield. I wonder what they're gonna pair with this though. Oh no, this is gonna be
Oh,
the Volibear. Okay,
swapped Volibear. Maybe they just want a little more time to think about this spot matchup. Just pick the Volibear, buy them some more time. Yeah, okay. So now they're for
okay.
sure locked into the Braum.
Yeah, so I am going to assume that is going to be Volibear jungle. The jungler, I believe, has played it. Think that I can. He did a great job in the first game on that Graves. Kind of targeting out specific points of the enemy top laner, Dean, who kind of got caught out a bit much. And I mean, he was doing so much damage. Think that I can did a lot of damage to Ornn. So we'll see what kind of different jungler that Gray wants to pick out. They are gonna blind the Victor into the mid lane. So that is interesting, and we'll see what the bans are. They have quite a few options here. And yeah, I mean, I'm a personal fan of Victor, but he's kind of a little bit hard to play when you don't know what you're going up against. They do have assassins available on the other side. Could be a deadly force for Victor unless he plays extremely safe. But the Ornn and Renekton going to be banned out, so we won't see Pink using the Ornn once again. As a top side seems to be the focus here for both sides. And I mean, the more tanks you ban out, the less easier team fights kind of become. So it's going to be a Kali. Okay. I guess they kind of listen to me saying, "Hey, ban out some assassin that Pink plays."
I mean, Akali into Victor, if Akali lands her E, can't you just like throw down your pool and then sit in your pool and then she'll get what
That is
is it
correct.
rooted
It is
in
a
the
stun. It is
oh, it's
a
a stun, I
it
see.
is a stun, and that is true. But Akali could, dash around that kind of in and out. She's that character that kind of goes in and out of a range of certain abilities. So like, the ultimate can get you out of range of that pool. You can E into it and then ultimate right afterwards.
Oriana.
So lots of combos. As Vi and Oriana, yeah, Vi and Oriana gonna be picked here. I do like the Oriana pick here. You have good setup with Volibear and also Braum, just to stack those ultimates together, get everyone into the big ol' AoE range.
Yeah, it'd be really nice, throw the ball into Volibear, he disables the tower, you get like a 2, 3, 4-man shockwave, the fight's over, and Shen being picked up.
Wow.
Another good ball carrier for Oriana as well.
Yeah, a lot of shields on the side of Pink. The Ori shield, the Shen shield, just the amount of sheer team fight combo that this team has right now is amazing. And I'm curious to see what the counter pick is going to be for the top side on Gray. Vayne.
Vayne?
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh. Okay, this.
Wow. All right. We're going to see a Vayne top side, ladies and gentlemen. Have not seen that in a while. But it is a solid pick into Shed.
Vayne. I like recently I rewatched the video where Caps picks Vayne And and this coach is like, yo, is this gonna win us the game? He's like, yeah, just pick Vayne. We win.
I don't know if that's the case here, but we'll have to see because even though Vayne certainly counters Shen, it's a team game, right? We could expect Think That I Can to kind of lurk up in the top side, make sure that Vayne is kind of getting pressured so that Shen doesn't just get completely obliterated out of the laning phase. But yeah, this is interesting two comps. What are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to win this one?
I like Pink's comp. Once again, broken record, but easier to execute. Their team fight's really good. Shen shield, Orianna shield, like you said. Braum literal shield, and then yeah, I have to give it to Pink here, even though Gray has that spice. They have a lot of damage. Their front line, I mean, I guess Vi is okay. Rakan, interesting to see if he'll go how tanky he'll get, because I think he does go Shirelio, so it doesn't get that beefy. So their only front line really is Vi. But yeah, I have to give it to Pink.
Okay, that is fair. And I mean, we saw the spiciness from Gray in the first game with the Fizz and the Fiora early on. I do have to give it to Pink in the regards of like the team fight, right? That's like you said, it's easier to execute. But I just love the spiciness from Gray, and that kind of shows a certain personality that if they work out the kinks from the last game, they'll pull it off with this game. So we'll have to see though, as we have a very spicy matchup topside. We have a pretty standard matchup in the mid lane, Victor versus Orianna. And then we have the classic Zyra Khan and Varus Braum in the bot side. But we'll see. Predictions are up. Go ahead and put in your votes, as it is now Pink that is leading the charge with those votes. And yeah, this is gonna be a good one. I think this is gonna be a good one. It could go either way. I feel it could go either way. But yeah, I think the Vi pick here is pretty good for the early game, because at least she will give pressure to the Orianna lane and the Shen lane. So I like that pick. It's kind of more of a, can she get ahead early enough to affect her team and herself? Vi does a lot of damage and has a lot of armor shred, which I do think the amount of tankiness on the other side will kind of Vi will kind of benefit from that.
I'm interested to see what else Gray has up their sleeve, because first game they pulled 5 members into that or right before that pixel brush in the river, and they were able to get the graves and then run down. Was that the top laner?
Yeah,
As well? So I mean that was really cool to see 2-0 early. But Pink does have the better level 1, because Braum passive, Shen taunt, Wally Bear, stun. But maybe Gray has something else even more spicy this game to show us.
that's true. We will definitely have to see. It, and I mean, as we kind of get into the nitty gritty of things, you have to like kind of stand back and say, hey, because we haven't seen this team play before. Does this team have the capacity to come back in the mental department? We've seen time and time again that the 2-0s, or then it's just the reverse sweeps of the silver games, or it's just been chaos on both sides. So there was certainly a lot of chaos in that first game, so I'm expecting to see that sort of same dynamic happen once again cross map. And as we get into the spectator delay, I will go ahead and run once again another ad, but for all of our lovely subscribers, you won't really have to worry about a thing, because you're subscribed, and that is very good. So yeah, this is gonna be a good one again. I think. As much as you were casting, like you were like, oh, I'm getting out of breath because there's so much going on at once. I think that's gonna happen again. So you better prepare your voice. Maybe drink some water. Kind of like just make sure you're hydrated. I'm drinking water. I'm having a blast.
I mean, yeah, it was really fun to just, finish a play and then go into another one and then go into another one. I mean, I guess that's just how these silver games go. A lot of actions, a lot of fun to watch and cast.
Yeah, for sure. Think who would be your MVP from the first game? For the side of Pink.
I'd have to give it to Catch My Hooks, just with the amount of pressure he was able to put out early and mid game, as well as the engages he was able to find towards the later stages of the game. Really set up the
Okay,
team really well.
that is fair.
And you?
Man, I think I have to go with Think That I Can. I think he did a phenomenal job just invading those really early invades. Like that, that requires you to look at the map, say, "Hey, Nunu's not even on this side. I'm just gonna go and see if that jungle camp is up, take it, and if not, move on to the next camp because he's on that top side. He knows where he's at, and capitalizing on that made Nunu very very squishy, enough for Graves to pretty much three shot him during those later stages of the game when Graves had like three items. And then kind of the team fight dynamic, putting out a lot of damage, especially onto the pressure of Dean, who was on Fiora. I think he did a phenomenal job making all that happen. I mean, I'll give like second place to Zuko because he was able to just last in lane long enough for the rest of the team to kind of roam and enable Catch My Hooks to be able to do that. So that would be my runner up for that one. As we do have a minute on the spectator delay, but don't worry, we'll get into the game soon. I want to talk about the mid lane matchup because now we have a different approach. It was Fizz versus Galio. Now we have two standard control mages, and I'm curious to see how this one plays out. Judging from the first game, it seemed like Legend of Soa wanted to try to get early leads and make things happen with Fizz. Now it's kind of both of these mid laners have to take a step back, kind of just farm, make sure they're not getting ganked by Volibear or Vi, as both of them will have to flash. They have no escape really, and yeah, that's my take on that. What do you think about that one?
I mean, yeah, maybe they heard me. First game, I was like, yeah, we're kind of missing a little range because both mid laners were melee, so now they picked up, like you said, control mages. This is a classic matchup. I like Orianna better, but that's just because she has a cool little mechanic where she throws this ball around the map. But hey, that's my
Okay, that's fair. All the Victor maids will just silently
I'm
drop some
sorry.
tears, including me.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. I
It's
mean,
okay. Yeah,
it's cool how you can aim your stuff, like your R and your Q. Like I like the different mechanics that each champ has, but I mean Orianna with that, you can't beat it. The shockwave is just that's just a staple when it comes to League.
for sure. I do think the ball is very team fight oriented, while Victor is more lane dominant than Orianna. And just looking at the summoner spells and rune choices here, spoiler for everyone, Victor did take Grasp of the Undying and Ignite. So he really wants to kind of play the same exact way as he did on Fizz. He wants to be as aggressive as possible, make sure he gets a lead for himself. And I mean, that's showing confidence. I hope he could pull it off this time. Didn't really get to do that the first game. Did get a couple of shutdowns. Did do a lot of damage onto Zuko, but it just wasn't enough. And Galio inevitably English will kind of outroam and he tried to capitalize on where Galio was, but he just ended up not being able to do much outside of that and not able to roam because of the pressure that I think that it can put on him. So, all right, looking at the predictions, they're almost up. We do have the majority going over to pink, so we'll see if that happens as we load into game 2 of Rawr's Rogue Upsets Pink versus Checkmate Gray. They have swapped sides, and we do have a spicy game ahead. Vayne, man, I feel like that's just like the pick that everyone's like, oh, groan, you know? Like, oh, not this. Uh,
I was a Vayne main. I had that Vayne phase, so it'll be fun to watch. I mean, it's a lot of fun with Vayne, just go invisible and juke and outplay during fights, regardless of what's happening elsewhere.
that's true.
I mean, yeah, we loading onto the Rift, looking at the summoner spells, both supports taking the exhaust. Legend of Soul on Victor taking the ignite, whereas Momo on the Oriana is taking the TP. So two TPs on the side of pink and one TP coming out from the Vayne on the side of gray.
And yeah, this might be another 5 point. We'll maybe get another 2 kills. It's hard to say. Hopefully, Pink does not make that mistake once again. Because that did end up with the carries getting 2 kills.
Like
Uh,
both teams are kind of gravitating towards the bot side of the map here. The ADCs on the side of gray are just sitting around that red buff, whereas yeah, Pink is happy to sit here and start to walk into the pixel brush. And they will be spotted out. Victor just stuns them all.
oh.
Whoa. Okay, a flash coming out from Victor. Wow.
That was
Was that
interesting.
necessary?
I don't even think so. And
I didn't see what came out. I just saw the Victor flash. I was like, wait, what?
it might have been a just a
Like a Brom Q?
it might have been a Brom. It might have just been a scare tactic that Pink said, "Hey, we're gonna scare you."
You see Volbear having a great time.
Yeah, great time. Uh, as not only did Soa use Flash, he picked up W first, which is probably one of the worst starts for Victor. You tend to want to start Q or
He
E.
Shen might look for this early ward, but he might pay for it with his life as Vi and Vayne are aware of it. Yeah, Shen's gonna walk in for the ward, and Vayne tumbles forward. Vi not able to do anything, but yeah, Shen gets the ward.
Hmm. So they are going to start out seeing that Vi is going to take the red buff. But yeah, that was an interesting flash from Soa. I'm still perplexed on it, but maybe it is part of the playstyle of Grasp because I have never played Grasp Victor before. It is, it makes sense because of the proc on the Q. The auto Q auto, you'll get the proc and you'll get more health, but it doesn't really play into the style of being aggressive as something like Electrocute would. So I'm curious to see how he pulls that off. Maybe he wants to be a sort of frontliner or, able to withstand all the damage coming out from the enemy team, but I just don't see it. We'll have to see. Maybe Soa has a plan up his sleeve.
I just noticed that Volibear is Predator. I always, well, I think everyone's gonna agree with me here. We always love to see Predator. It's just so fun. You go so fast.
Yeah. He chases hard, and Dean getting low. Oh, man.
Getting very low, he gets taunted up by the Shen. Flashes away, gets the Silver Bolt proc, but is not enough. Oh, Shen flashes away, and here comes Volibear for the cleanup, gets condemned away, even though he flashes onto her, but it doesn't matter. First blood going over to Volibear.
Wow. Yeah, that was a good responsive.
Rakan
Oh.
engage? Oh, no, nothing to be happened there. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just about to say, like, good reaction timing from Jason to just flash away from that last auto attack that would have definitely ended his life and made that a 1-for-1 trade. But yeah, we see the aggression coming out from Gray once again on the bottom side of the map. I think that on Mrak will want to focus this bot side once again. I mean, they're definitely a not a diveable, but certainly a gankable side.
Oh, Vayne just getting beat down between her towers. Shen will be very happy about that, as they are basically equivalent HP, and Vayne just got back from base. She's forced to recall yet again, but she has TP. It's okay.
Yeah.
Rakan gets the engage onto
Ooh.
the Braum. The root does not come through, but the Braum passive does get landed onto the Rakan. Z is taken to half HP, and yeah, like you said, on Marak, just, he started top side, so yeah, I guess the focus is on the bot side of the map for him here.
And yeah, he did just take the Scuttle. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade on the Scuttle. as we see a lot of aggression from Yoltz, and now you see me. These bot laders, man, they really
Oh
want
yeah,
to.
another
Oh,
Recon engage. He just WE.
yeah.
It's always, oh, the Braum passive is landing. Maybe they will get the last auto onto Recon. No, it expires before the auto lands. Unfortunate.
And we do
Oh,
see Think That I Am and
GG.
Onmarak.
We
Oh,
see the junglers meeting in the tri-bush here. As Vi is forced to flash away because Braum has the flank, but now Braum is caught out of position, gets rooted by the Xayah, but Xayah gets exhausted. As nothing will happen here, never mind. Vi gets stunned up by the Volibear, and perhaps this goes over to Zuko. Yes, it does. Oh, Shen barely living. The Silver Bolt's
ooh,
proc would have
wow.
killed him, but the auto block saved him there.
It certainly did. Jason just is so accurate on these timings. Very well done by him. As
As we
Dean is putting
see,
the pressure on again.
a little more action here. Here comes Think That I Can onto
Oh,
Legend of Soy, hits the stun. Everything will land on the side of Pink, and Soul will fall without using his flash.
I believe he still doesn't have it up. I can see the timer kind of whittling down
Oh,
there.
is it? Oh, pardon
It's
me there. Yeah, sorry. It's
yeah,
like a sliver. I can barely see
yeah.
it.
So if it was just a few seconds later, he would have been able to use it. But that's the cost of using it level 1.
It's true.
For kind of no reason, as I don't think he was in any danger then. But here we are now, and that's 3 kills over to Pink. Not
As
looking
the
good.
junglers are meeting it, yeah, on the other tri-bush now, as Volibear just absolutely chunks the Vi. Wow, not even with. Imagine if this Volibear had PTA. That Vi probably is dead.
Yeah,
But yeah,
for
Vi
sure.
gets away with that one.
With barely a sliver of her life.
Yeah.
She's just getting invaded again from Think That I Can. And I mean, this game, they're just kind of meeting up at these points now. It's not even like, the invade, from last game we're like meeting up. But this game, they're definitely meeting up, and On Miracle is, kind of seeing how much Think That I Can is taking the jungle this time around.
Yeah, I think that I can, yeah, like you said, just showing off his aggressiveness. I mean, he is going for, it looks like that invade on the top side, or maybe that was a gank and just ran into the Vi. But yeah.
And we do see several kind of same things happening from the previous game. But instead of Gray getting a couple of kills early on, it's Pink this time.
Oh, Shen going for the taunt onto the Vayne. He does have the 6th advantage, but it doesn't matter because Shen's ult doesn't help himself. Helps others as Vi gets engaged on by the Volibear. Will be taken very low, but Victor is here to shove the Volibear back.
A couple of pings coming out. Dragon will be started. And
He's starting up the, what's this, Air Drake?
this is a Cloud Drake. I don't think that Gray can match it. They don't have anybody there. The waves are in Pink's favor.
Yeah, and Ori won't even miss that much for showing up there. Like, the wave just crashed, maybe like 1 or 2 minions, but helps her team secure that early dragon. I mean, maybe not the most impactful, but hey, that is a start to dragon stacking, as Shen is just abusing his level advantage and HP advantage here, just standing in between Vayne and her minions.
Yeah, I mean, Dean has the rain advantage, has not been able to use it because of that taunt range. And, we'll have to do it, he will have to do a perfectly timed dodge or tumble, excuse me, that will, avoid the taunt and then abuse that range advantage for that slight sliver of time. But it
On
looks like they're
Morocco
going to meet up.
here,
Ooh.
looking for the meeting up once again with the enemy jungler. Braum with the flash ult onto the Rakan. The Braum passive does go through. Zuko going to get the autos, but not enough damage. The Q does not land either. Braum passive being applied to the Xayah. She will be exhausted, and the Volibear ult comes through, and the Varus ult comes through, and Rakan will be taken very low. Zuko does last hit the kill, and here comes Vayne coming from the top lane. Gets a nice condemn, and even though Shen ults, it doesn't matter. That's a lot of damage coming out from the Xayah, and Vayne will continue to chase it down the rest of, or now Think That I Can, pardon me. Flash auto for the last kill, and that is shut down. 3 for 0 on the side of Gray, and they struck back.
They did with a mighty hand. That was a good response from Dean. I think he kind of set that up for his team, and they made sure to target Zuko, who was being Shen ulted as fast as they could. The feathers were pulled. The condemn made it into the wall. They just had enough damage so that Shen could not get there at all.
I guess Shen just had to, like, as soon as he sees, like, the Vayne TP, I know you want to wait to get maximum value out of your shield, but, like, you just need to be there sometimes. So, perhaps it's mistiming there. Maybe would have turned out differently if Shen was able to just ult earlier and been there for the fight.
Yeah, I do agree. It was, or maybe even a TP to that lane. As we see Dean doing kind of the same thing he did last game. Kind of going past the wave, putting a lot of pressure. Oh. Was a little bit of a slight delay there. But, yeah, the early aggressiveness of Dean is going to show again as he's behind in CS. Does have a kill, though. We'll try to make that up.
The gold comparisons here, top lane is about even. Jungle, Volibear is favored by 800. Victor is behind by 400. Bot lane is pretty even overall. I mean, yeah, although Pink has the gold advantage, like, it doesn't look like it's that much, as here comes Volibear out of the jungle straight onto Soa, and Soa will fall to the shockwave and auto.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate. Soa, those flash timings, I wonder if...
Oh, Shen taunting up the Vayne, and here comes Vi as well for the assist, condemns him away, and yeah, we'll go to the Vayne. Good timing on Vi there to punish the overextended Shen with no time.
Yep. Good coordination from On Miracle this time around. Making sure that Jason cannot get away from being too pushed up. And it looks like On Miracle will start this Rift Herald on the top side of the map. A couple of pings coming out. No TPs available just yet. Not even a Stand United on Shen.
Xayah will be taken to half HP just by like an auto and a Q, and Vayne will start to chunk down this Volibear. He does have to ultimate if he wants to live, and yes, he does live, but he does lose the Herald.
Good response from On Miracle this time on picking up that objective right after the kill was made. No prio means you have to take an objective that's nearby.
Oh, nice little tumble side step from the Vayne, but she has no mana here to continue tumbling. She will just have to auto this Shen to death. We'll see if Shen is able to. Yeah, that is very strong autos coming from the Shen, and flash auto to finish off the Vayne. Very nice from Jason.
Dean had a good tumble there, but needed to stay out of range of the auto attacks from Jason in order to live. Just couldn't do it.
Yeah, if Dean had any more mana, he was probably able to tumble once or twice more, or 1 or 2 times more there, and maybe outkite the Shen. As we see, now you see me finally hitting a knockball onto the Braum, hits the charm onto 2 members. Xayah sets down his feathers, gets the root onto Volibear, but Volibear doesn't care here. He is Orianna ult landing on nobody, as Xayah falls to Zuko, who is now 3-1.
Yep, strong Zuko once again, and that means that another dragon going over to Pink, and possibly the Ocean Soul we could have this game. No, it's gonna be the mountain. Oh.
Mountain rise. As the mountains rise, Vi rises, but it doesn't matter. Catch My Hooks pops his perfect timing. I believe it is. And yeah, Vi just dies there.
A little bit of a misplay maybe from On Miracle. Didn't know that the stopwatch was there. Was trying to go for a Hail Mary maybe. As the gold lead is...
That's the second time. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
No, you're good. I was just about to say the gold lead is slowly still going over to Pink.
Yeah, Catch My Hooks with this perfect timing. We saw it in the first game that with his Rakan, he had a nice stopwatch, and then he was able to get out with the help of the Varus ulti. But here comes another engagement from the Shen. Able to take down the Vayne really low, but Vayne does condemn him into the wall. As here comes Volibear with the Predator. He will just instantly burst down the Vayne, but she tumbles, and nice last auto to finish off the Shen. So 1 for 1 there. Wow, good play from Dean, to recover that gank.
Yeah, for sure. Dean already has a Kraken Slayer. First item built. And good response. He knows that Think That I Can is going to be up at the top side of the map because that's just the pressure that these junglers are giving. It seems like they're kind of rotating to the top side of the map, kind of leaving bottom side alone.
Now you see me going for a lot of these knockouts, but like it's really hard because you can't really do much into the Braum Varus because they just have so much CC. If you're in there for a second too long, you're just gonna get CC chained and then die.
Yeah, exactly. That is a good observation because, like, you know, if you're in there, you're in there for good. If you're trying to engage with your ultimate on Rakan. But I guess as much poke as possibly can will put as much pressure. But we see that the top laner and the jungler on the side of pink are coming for this 4v2.
Are rotating down here. They have the volley barrel. This is a tower. This could be a tower dive, but Vi is in the area, but still only just a 4v3. TP is up for both top laners, but you know Shen's already here, so only Vayne will be TPing.
Yeah, they must have heard you saying, "Hey, Shen, be down here first."
I mean, yeah, maybe they heard me because last time, you know, Vayne TP'd and Shen was not there. So I mean, this time he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna ult, I'm not gonna TP. I'm gonna just be here. But you know, it comes at a price as Vayne is beating down that top tower.
Yeah, Rift Herald popped mid. I don't think it will do much as we do see a couple of members heading over to catch the eye of it and make sure it's all stunned up, and that is gonna be a wasted Herald.
Yeah, interesting. Herald Shelly gets no charges off as Shen hits a taunt onto Rakan, but he just dashes away with the empowered range on his E.
And Vayne is just gonna take down this first tower for free, pretty much. So
Yeah, I mean,
like,
I guess.
yeah, I like it.
Pink just kind of danced for too long, and then Vayne's like, you know what? Sure, you're gonna give me all this. I'm just gonna take it.
Exactly. And so I like the look because they're kind of putting all the eggs in the Dean basket, as he has been the most proactive character of this game series. And I wonder what the lane assignments will be if Vayne wants to just continue to kind of grind out top side of the map while everybody else is down the bottom side, or if they'll change things up.
Rakan knockup not landing on the Braum. Rakan will be stunned up, not able to E away. Zuko does end up getting the kill, and here comes Shen taunting the Vayne. Well, Xayah being dove, but she flashes away. Nice flash, pops her ult. Braum pops his ult as well. Now Victor is here with the re-engage and picks up the Braum, and Vayne wins the 1v1 in the top lane onto the Shen.
Oh my gosh. That Zuko damage doing a lot right now.
Oh, wow, Vi going back in onto the... I forgot who that was, Volibear, but it doesn't matter. Orianna picks up the kill.
Oof. So it was a net positive until he did that, at least for the bottom side of the map. Good job on Dean to
team
capitalize.
wasn't there.
Yeah. He's kind of just going in, saying, "Hey, let's do this." But yeah,
like you said, Dean on the top of the map still beating down towers as Shen not responding. Or neither Ori too. She does have TP. As yeah, she takes this tier 2 down lower than half.
I mean, just the raw amount of damage is why this is pretty much a counter matchup in Dean's favor, unlike the previous matchup. So definitely taking advantage of that. Good job on Dean. But that means this Soul Point Dragon is on the line.
Little bit of deja vu, you know, we keep looking back here and it's always Pink just taking this dragon, always having control, and you know, Gray not really responding. I mean, maybe they can't with the gold lead that Pink does have at the moment.
Yeah, pretty solid gold lead on Zuko once again, and 2-0 on Momo. It's really like, hey, we got to take a step back, let Dean get that gold for us, and they're only 1k down on the side of Gray. So
Dean being caught out here, she will be slowed by the... Oh no, the slow does not come through. Braum taking a lot of damage, and he does get the passive and force the flash away, but he does not get away as Vayne flashes after a nice little juke there, but it doesn't matter because, you know, Shen taunt.
Yeah, and that was a good trade. At least it was a trade. But this means that, you know, if they keep rotating up, that Dean is going to have to play back a little bit. He can't be so far forward if they're just going to send 3 members topside, or at least respond with it with an objective like the bottom side turret or dive onto Zuko. UEC, I mean, Zuko is just kind of, doing the same thing as last game, just letting his support go wherever he wants and kind of just clearing waves. I feel like Now You See Me needs to take like the step up and just, go in an ult. That'll be a good setup. Doesn't even need the knockup, just the ultimate to get in. And that should be a kill with the feathers.
And yeah, Zaya does have her completed Kraken Slayer. It is possible, but Braum does block a lot of damage. Especially if he saves the shield to position against the E instead of directly towards the Zaya.
Yeah, that is true. But as long as Braum is on the other side of the map, that shouldn't be a problem, as Think That I Can wants to chase down Solo.
I think that can goes for the flash onto the Victor. The Oriole is a little late, but here comes the slow smite coming out as Volibear goes for the dive. He does disable the tower. He's able to... No, he's not able to run away. Vi gets to shut down. So there is a response.
Yep, and it's not over yet.
Not over yet, as Rakan flashes onto two of the members. Zaya Feathers is hitting two, and while a lot is happening, Catch My Hooks is about to fall with a... No, he does not fall. He has a sliver of his HP left as Shenton onto the Zaya. Nice flash Q for coming out from Zuko. He cleans up two of the members. And wow, that is our first team gap ace of the evening. Wow. Going over to Rawr's upsets Silver Pink.
Yeah, great responses from Pink all around. They kind of coordinated that pretty well. And yeah, that is going to be a lot of damage coming out from that Varus, who has the Eclipse and has the Muramana now. It's just like the beginning of these fights go well for Gray, but then they just kind of fall apart. As Dean with another TP did put on a lot of pressure, but just died right after they took down Oriana, and it was just unfortunate where he was spotted in that and could not get out.
People in someone in chat Bud Light Ace and then Rylion. Yeah, we can't. Or sorry, the blank Ace, as we are not sponsored or affiliated. But hey, Team Gap Ace.
Yeah, for sure, Team Gap Ace. And we had, I think in the first silver game, we had 4 aces in one game. And this is the first one of the series, as one of, it's always one of the members escaping, but that fight, it was just a full committed fight from both sides.
Team Gap, we just need to develop a drink, and then we can make that our ace and our power play.
I mean, yeah, we would love to be sponsored. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But well, we can make our own. We can make our own drink.
As there is a Rakan DC, we'll see if a pause does come through. Let's hope one does. Yes, there it is. I mean, looking at the game right now, was it 3.5k gold lead for Pink? Although it feels much greater than that with all of the gold into the Varus. He's doing a lot of damage. If you're Gray, I mean, how do you begin to come back into this with the gold deficit that you have, and you're down 3 drags playing for Soul Point in about a minute?
I think it's kind of hard to say, hey, let's just funnel the Vayne, because of the style of these the rest of the characters. The only one that can realistically do that are Vi with the peel, and Rakan with the peel and the supportiveness. So I think you still have to funnel Dean, because he's got 2 items. He is the strongest member on your team. He is ahead of everyone else on that team, and he has to be targeting Zuko. Zuko needs that shutdown to be taken away from him, preferably on a carry or even Dean. Dean could spread some wealth over, though, but he just needs to not get caught out in these fights like the last one. And things might go back the way for Gray.
If I'm the Vayne, I'm actually shaking, because every person on the enemy team has some sort of peel or CC, and it just makes it really hard to play. Shenton, Volibear stun, Oriana pull, or whatever you call the shockwave, Varus, was that Root, and Braum literally everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary. But where the very good Vayne players come in is knowing what these abilities do and how they interact with each other. And I mean, it could be, somebody will have to build like a Serpent's Fang in order, to kind of make up for the lack of damage that's coming out from the rest of his team. I mean, we could even see, the Serpent Fang going onto Xayah. The feathers will do a lot to that, and that'll open up more damage for Dean to kind of shred every tank on their team. But yeah, it's just timing. I think the ultimate, the final hour, will make everything a lot easier to get around these team fights. And we should be on pause soon. Not sure what might be going on. Last week we had a unfortunate power outage in the middle of a game, but he came back and won the game. That was pretty impressive. So maybe this time, that's what he needs.
They reset the power, reset the mental, and then came back into the game.
And I must say, I think they're doing a great job just, playing the game out. I don't think their mental was necessarily shattered from game one. But we'll have to see how that plays out. I mean, we might even get into a 5v5 fight right after this pause because, I mean, look where Dean is on the map. He's deep in the alcove territory, and, I mean, he has an angle on Zuko. He just has to find him, and Amaracle gives the vision towards him, so it might be just a full commit from the side of Gray onto Zuko, because that is the #1 damage dealer on their team.
I mean, this is a precarious position if Zuko gets caught out here because Vi is here and then Vayne is shortly behind, and then Victor and Rakan can probably zone off the Braum. So I mean, if Zuko dies early here due to the positioning, it'll be really bad for Pink.
And we'll see what happens as we resumed. It will be kind of paused for a little bit. Don't worry, that is just the spectate delay.
Okay. I've not had this before.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm just sitting here like, what's happening?
It kind of just buffers. Not a big deal. The game will resume hopefully soon as Dragon, about 30 seconds.
The position on the map changed, though.
Yeah, I mean, just from those few seconds, the position on the map did change, and I'm surprised that Gray didn't take the opportunity to just go full in on that Varus.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty good. I mean, I guess I didn't see any of the other members at the time, so it was a little scary. But I mean, Vi had the position, Vayne was there, and yeah, Orianna backs for. Actually, she bought Archangels, and now she TPs back into the line of scrimmage here. Vi getting a little aggressive. Nothing to be had though. Yeah, Dean, look at that damage. There's 3 autos onto the Shen with the Kraken Slayer and Silver Bolts, and Braum will be taken very low as he walks into the pit. He gets a nice knock-up, but he might... nope, never mind. Heal does save him there.
Alright, so that's the support getting really low.
What team is dancing right now? Just Yoltz is kind of troll autoing the dragon to apply pressure. Nice taunt shockwave.
Oh.
Wow, huge synergy coming up from Pink, and wow, that's really fast.
Gosh.
Oh my god. We saw a beautiful Shen taunt into the immediate Orianna ult, and then the Volibear follow up, and then they're just all dead. Another team gap ace going over to Pink.
That was a 4-man ultimate on that shockwave, I believe, if not 5. And that's what you call synergy right there. They're gonna take this Baron and probably rush it down mid because they got rewarded for that spectacular play. They danced around the dragon, waited for the perfect opportunity to get that taunt off, and it paid off.
Yeah, great find by Jason without flash, by the way. Legitimately just walked up, found the 3-man taunt, and Orianna is mashing her R's as hard as he can.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, that was a great shockwave, and we see this time and time again with these kind of comps revolving around the setup with the Orianna or the massive AoE CC. And like you said, this is coming back to what you said. This comp is just easy to play around. The Wombo is just too strong.
Yeah, I mean the wombo, I mean it's not like that easy to execute, but I mean there's a lot of people that can carry that ball for Oriana, and if anyone finds that angle, and if Oriana is paying attention, like yeah, just a lot of wombo.
Yeah. And I mean, we've seen Momo kind of miss a few ults here and there, but I think that was the one that counted the most, as it was an ace. They did get Baron. They're pushing down mid lane with Shen in the top lane. And let's see if they get at least maybe even an inhibitor out of this. They did pick up Soul as well. Means they have that nice shielding against the feathers. And there goes one tower already.
I mean these, oh, maybe a little bit of action in the top lane. We see Vayne and Shen are going at it a little bit.
Just a little bit. Dean is pushing that out.
Yeah, Zuko with this poke, you know, a 10-1 Varus is gonna hurt, as Varus is taken down to half HP. Now a quarter HP.
Yeah.
He is forced to walk back to his platform.
And yeah, this is how you play the Baron game. You just have to poke with the Varus and make sure you're not getting engaged on. So good job getting that inhibitor on the side of pink. Now, Gray is at the same, almost the same disadvantage they were at last game.
I mean, they have a little bit of space to play with these tier 1s, but I mean, they're both very fragile, and I can't imagine them living through this Baron buff that Pink has.
For sure. And I would have actually liked to see Shen kind of go across map, try to get the tower.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, yep, there he goes. He's getting
He
it
heard
now.
you. You're
He
in his
heard
ear.
me. So they will pick up that one. They will pick up the bottom one. They still have a little bit left on the Baron. Let's see what happens.
As well, why once again getting bursted by this Volibear throughout the entire game. It's been a common theme, and wow, she will just straight up die as Volibear pops his Predator. Good look for the engage, but yeah, Victor is just he's respecting the Victor. I mean, hey, props to him. You know, your 7-2 Volibear still respecting the enemy team's capabilities.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to wait for the team, I think, as they still had that turret in between them. Another turret's there. And the ultimate is available for Volibear.
Ooh, I think that could have been an ult kill from the Oriana, straight onto the... Oh, here we see Vayne gonna go in onto the Shen, but you know, that Condemn is working in his favor as he washes away and gets pushed even further from the Vayne.
Yep. This is looking very grim for Gray, but they might have to just... Oh! Chaos Storm coming out from Victor. Don't do too much, though. And they're just getting pushed in.
Yeah, it's quickly from both tier 1s being up in the top and bot lane, we seeing both tier 3s almost being taken, as 2 inhibs will now go down.
And now they're going to back off, hopefully, yep. And it's going to be a little bit of time to farm for Gray, but they're already about 11k behind. I don't know what they can really do to come back in this game. I mean, I had said earlier they need to make those aggressive plays onto Zuko. And, I mean, they haven't. You know, he has been near his team except for that one time. And this is Elder coming up at a minute. If they can win this last team fight, they win the game. But it is a very slim chance. I mean, just the amount of items going on to Team Pink is kind of...
the position here, though. Sorry.
They might. They might have to look for that same alcove play. But they have 2 waves of supers pushing in. They have to respect that.
Yeah, I mean, like, the only way for them here, I see them doing anything, is if for some reason all 5 members from Pink are sitting in the pit, you know, just waiting to be Victor ulted, Rakan charmed, Xayah rooted, and then burned down by the Vayne, and all the while tanking the Elder Drake, but that's just so much to ask for.
I agree, and it looks like they're going to do the same thing with Shen, just put him up at the top side. They can handle the 4v5. So we're going to see it here, hopefully. Oh, that damage from Oriana.
Oh my god, yeah,
Ooh.
now it's just impossible, like... little like 0 to no chance here. Oh, as here, nice engage coming out from the Recon, but a lot of the members are being burned. Rom getting a nice slow onto all the members, and while Oriana and Varus are just cleaning up, it does not matter. Shen joins the fight, and yeah, that is a third team cap ace as TPs are at the same time channeled onto the enemy base, and that will be the series going over to Rawr's Rogue upsets Silver Pink.
Yeah, great gameplay and coordination coming out from Pink for the second time around, and well deserved.
I'm still replaying that Shen 3-man taunt into Oriana ult into
I know.
Volibear ult in my head. That was beautiful.
That definitely was a good one. And yeah, about to start the poll for the MVP. Who do you think was the MVP of both of these games for the side of Pink?
Oh, so see, I don't want to like has really good stats in both games. So I don't want to downplay that, but I don't know if that's because his team is setting up him up so well, or if he's doing really well, or perhaps it's just a combination of both. Catch My Hooks was my initial MVP for game one. He was on the recon. He was able to do a lot. Now he was forced onto Braum, more of a Peel type character instead of the go in, so not as flashy, but still doing his job very well. I don't know. I have to think about it because first game I think I give it to Catch My Hooks, and second game I think I give it to Think That I Can. So I have to sit here and think about that for a little bit. How about you?
All right. Well, I mean, Zuko just played super, super well. And I think that I can also played very, very well. It's one of those two for me. Uh, I think that I can had a lot of setup this game as well. I mean, just looking at how aggressive he was, just like in the first game, set his team up to make sure that On Miracle did not actually, have a presence because just constant invades, constant aggression, set up his team for victory. So I'm gonna have to go with the jungler for Team Pink. But yeah, it does seem like the votes are going to Think That I Can. 3 votes. One for Zuko, one for Catch My Hooks, another one going over to Think That I Can. So put in your votes now. Let's take a look at the damage charts real quick for that game, as Zuko being the one that did the most damage, the most poke, and then Think That I Can right behind him.
I mean, yeah, that Volibear, like, there was, like, 3 things that I saw that the entire game, like, constantly happening. It was Rakan Wing onto them and then Eing back. It was Zuko charging Q, and then Volibear melting the Vi. Those are 3 things that I saw many times throughout the game.
Yeah.
Just repeating over and over and over again.
And I think Jason also did a great job just, surviving top lane. He was pressured the first game. I mean, he kind of won the 1v1s sometimes here and there. But, a lot of pressure from Dean the second game with the Vayne pick. That must have been a pain to go through. But he helped out his team. And I think that's a clearly an important sign when you're looking at, MVP. But I do think that for me, at least, Think That I Can was possibly just a big factor in allowing that or shutting down that Vayne. He did actually gank. The first gank did end up in a kill for, I think it was Think That I Can. So shutting down the Vayne, making sure he's cross map the person that sets up his team the most will get my vote. Momo did a pretty good job on that game winning, or at least Soul and Baron winning ultimate Shockwave. So, everybody did so good on their team. But yeah, we only have a few seconds left here for the MVP. We'll get to have an interview with them soon enough. And it will be Think That I Can. So let's go ahead and bring them in. Just make sure I have the right one. There he is. Move to Cassie Couch. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you feeling after that second game?
Feeling like shit. I didn't get to use Ganya's or stopwatch at all that last fight. So
Oh yeah, I
kind
did
of
see
just
they picked it up.
a waste of purchase, I guess, for me.
All right. Well, you did a phenomenal job both games, making sure that all your lanes were kind of succeeding. And did you guys like have a set plan both of those games? Because it seemed like almost the exact same thing happened both games, where you guys were just leaving Zuko alone, making sure you were roaming up with hooks, and you kind of led that in on both games. Hello? Oh, did he disconnect?
Drafting the Ornn first. Hello. Could you guys still hear me there?
Yeah,
So
here
we
now.
didn't hear. Yeah, we didn't hear any at the beginning though. So please restart.
Oh, okay, my fault there. I mean, first game, the draft was a bit iffy. I mean, we got what we wanted, but we did first pick the Ornn, which we weren't actually planning to do, so it kind of made our top matchup a bit harder for him to play. But overall, like, our game plan was still the same. We played to what we could. We had a couple mistakes here and there, which our coach will 100% rip us up a new one for that, but... You know, we stayed moving as a team. We stayed communicating as a team, and in the end, us playing as a team is what won us the game.
Fair enough. Do you have any questions for our MVP, JR?
I just want to know because you guys had that beautiful like that first ace was beautiful, or second was the second ace, I forgot, whichever one that where Shen went in and then Ori ulted and then Volibear ulted. I want to know what comms were like during that entire sequence.
Can't give much context on like the comms beforehand, but you know, we kind of just saw Shen running in without a word, flash taunted, Ori ball was just on him, and we kind of were just like, oh shit, this just happened. Everyone press R. Everyone press R now. And we all just kind of jumped in, and it was just a beautiful play made by our top and mid. So, you know, kudos to them for that.
Okay. I do have a question. This is kind of towards the draft. You guys seem to have kind of a standard, team fight comp for both games. Was that something you went over with your draft coach? And, like, were you perplexed by the picks from the other side at all?
Yeah, I mean, our game strategy since week one has always been playing that team fight comp and playing around our strong points, and that's just what's been working for us this entire league, actually, for all weeks. So, you know, as long as we find success in that, that's going to be what we're going to continue to play. You know, tips for the teams out there, trying to fight us. But, I mean, like, there are going to be picks that will confuse us. Like, we didn't expect Vayne top, to be honest. That was something that kind of caught me off guard. But after we realized it was Vayne top, we were just like, okay, well, this person's going to be useless from levels 1 through 5. Let's shit on her. And that is what we tried to do to the best of our goals. And then once she turned 6, she turned into a menace, like we all thought.
True. Very true. Well, yeah, you have to respect it. And I think you guys did a great job shutting her down after the level 6. So congratulations. If there's do you have anything else you want to shout out to any of the fans out there, any of the Pink fans?
Pink fans, what's up? I didn't realize we had fans, so what's up to y'all? Yeah, thanks for the support, and not a shout out, but we'll go ahead and call them out. The rest of the teams here at Silver League, be prepared because we ain't stopping.
Well said. And, that's going to be it for tonight. That was a 2-0 on Pink, so congratulations. We do have one game tomorrow for 9 p.m. Eastern. It is going to be Uru Bonk versus Inting Geniuses. That's going to be Purple versus Aqua. It should be casted. I still have to work out the kinks on the Twitch side of things, but till then, everyone have a good night, and congratulations on the 2-0. Think that I can. So,
thank you so much. Y'all have a good night.